game is going to be an aggressive, fast game, and I'm going to talk about PvP and Legacy of the Void, specifically how you deal with aggressive early games, how the new warp gate mechanic works in the early game, how the new mothership mechanic works in the early game, all that good stuff. And this is a pretty high rated game. I'm a high diamond, and this guy was, well, right now we're lower, but this guy is a 4-time Masters Protoss, and I'm a 6-time diamond, so it's a reasonably high rated game. So this is me in the top right, Savage Wood Blue Protoss, and this is the opponent Angry Bacon. And as you can see, we're doing standard shit, mirroring builds, pylon, gateway, and gas. Nothing really to say, but here's the first deviation, and this is me in the top in blue, Savage Wood. So when I go to make my pylon a bit early here, and I make it in my natural. Now if we look at Dusk Towers, if you're not familiar, this is the third, this is your main, this is your natural base, this is the one that you take first. So I'm building my pylon kind of like it's still in my main, so to speak, because it's within, it's like protected by my main ramp, but it's off, it's at my natural. And then I immediately make 2 gateways before my cyber core. So the point of the, and take my gas, and let's see what this guy's doing. He's expanded, and he's made his cyber core and taken a gas and sent a probe scout. So the point of this is I want to mass units and then like pump, like not just do a 4 gate where I chrono out, I get my cyber core as fast as possible and chrono warp gate. I want to like get gateways early, get an economy, make units, and then chrono warp gate behind it, do a pressure build, and then all in, not all in, but you know what I'm saying, and then attack with warp gate units behind it. So mothership core starts, warp gate starts, and if we go to his vision, he's looking for my expo, and he just thinks, wow, this guy's on 1 base. This is really weird. So he's going to peek back up and see, okay, cyber core, nice. He's making something, and he's researching. So he thinks, shit, he's proxying. He has proxy, because he sees 2 pylons, so he can kind of deduce, based on the fact that I have 2 gas, that something is up. So he probably thinks I'm going like proxy Gooby or maybe double proxy or a proxy robo immortal drop or something, but this guy's going blink. He's just doing like a one gate macro build, expand with blink. And I've put down a pylon. I'm chronoing warp gate now and producing units out of my gateways, and I have a completely saturated base. He's going blink, but his blink tech isn't going to kick in before my attack hits. And if we look mid-map, he had an adept. He sent an adept out to try to figure out what was going on, and he ran into my reinforcements. So one of the changes in Legacy of the Void is that warp gate units take longer to warp in. This means that front-loaded warp gate aggression is less powerful. In addition to that change, warp gate units take additional damage when they are warping in and they are attacked. Of course, this means that you lose a little bit of your defender's advantage if you're not careful, but more importantly, it hurts you aggressively. So right away, his mothership core spits out, his blink is halfway done, and he can immediately photon overcharge. Now, we're not going to comment on whether or not that's balanced because this is PvP, but it means that until I get anti-air units, I can't do shit. So that was my time warp. Now, the idea of that time warp is I'm all in, pretty much, and I'm not going to recall, and I don't really intend on photon overcharging. I probably should have saved the energy and then just aggressively photon overcharged, but I really have not played that many PvPs. Now if we pause it for a second and do a little assessment here, what do we see? This guy's chosen to take an expand. This means that his second and third gateway were delayed. This means that my second and third gateway finished significantly faster than his, meaning I produced more units. I know this is elementary for some, but I'm going to go over it because there might be new players watching. This means that my push is stronger than his. or my ability to make units is greater than his at this particular moment, because the advantage he's gained from expanding has just now kicked in. Whenever Blink finishes and whenever these Gateway finishes, he will be ahead, assuming he's not dead first. So, just to recap, he took this expand. Now this means he's going to be ahead of me if he can survive my attack. Basically, the key deviation in this game is what we did with our natural expansions. He chose to expand, I chose to make these two gateways, and if we go to his camera, he never scouted those. This is a great little cute spot, guys. If you're Protoss and you're playing PvP, fucking build your second pylon here, and if he sees it, he sees it. It's still in the vicinity of your main, and there's no risk. This is a great spot. So back to the game. I'm pressing forward here. My 3 stalkers warped in. Now his blink is about to finish, so I want to kill his mothership core very fast, because what I have to worry about is that ridiculous overcharge ability. Also, there's such a low unit count that I can afford to fight with a mothership core, although I mismicroed it there. Now as you can see, my 2 adepts arrive from crossing across the map. This is a key component to this build. Remember earlier when I said that I wasn't just rushing out warp gate? I was producing units and then warp gate rushing. These 2 adepts are a huge difference, because if we go to the units tab, I have 4 stalkers, he has 3 stalkers, but he has the mothership core, the superior economy, and blink, and the mothership core's ability that makes these pylons obnoxious, meaning that if I don't break him here, I'm fucking dead. So these 2 adepts are extremely important. That's why we continue to produce units even while we're pushing. We don't just let our money build up. Kappa. And yeah, we don't let our money build up. We keep producing units, and as soon as warp gate finishes, we turn on our gateways. So see how fucking long this takes? 11 seconds. But see, he's going to try to warp into, so I should immediately push up, but I didn't. Oh, and if you have, I can't remember if it's pylons by nexuses or pylons together, but your shit warps in faster when you're being defensive. So I have way more stuff than him, and this basically comes down to the different builds that we did and the fact that his production just wasn't online as long as mine was. And this is kind of the nature of a mirror match. You fall, here, watch this damage. Yeah. Dies before he can warp in, and he GG's. So that's just the nature of the mirror match. If you fall a little bit behind, you really have a difficult time coming back. The same applies to Banshees and TVT. The same applies, to Mutalisk and ZVZ. I hope you learned something. I hope you fuck with your opponent and take their ladder points with this obnoxious spot. I will say, at the end of that push, when I noticed I did have money, I went home, I expanded, I made a Twilight Council. So if this is a different map, if you want to copy this build and you kill your opponent's expansion and you're like, well shit, I need to macro and he has tech and I don't. Twilight's not bad, although if he shows Twilight, you should go Robo, because Robo or the Immortal shits on Blink Stalkers and he might go DT. If you learned anything, like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you thought, and yes, I know I'm nasally. Peace out.